Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1-1 of November 2020. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1. So here we have evaluate 4 over 7 minus 1 over 3. So I think we have done this kind of question so many times now. So the first thing we have to think or look at is, hey, we have two fractions, but the base are different. So we have to make it become the same. And one way of doing that is by multiplying them by each other. So 7 times 3 is 21. That's the first step. Now we have to cross multiply. So 4 times 3 is 12. Here we have minus, so we write minus. And 7 times 1 is 7. Now 12 minus 7 is, I think it's 5 over 21. So the answer is 5 over 21 for question part A. Now for part B, we have to evaluate 2 minus 1.2 times 0.3. Now, here we have minus and times in the same line. So whenever you have this kind of situation, you have to look at BODMAS. BODMAS helps you to determine the order of the operation. So what does that mean? It means that it helps you to know which one you want to do first, minus or multiply. So as you can see here we have multiply, here we have minus, subtraction. So first you want to do multiply. So first you want to do this part. So 1.2 multiplied by 0.3. So pretty easy. So the first thing we do is we first ignore the decimal place. So 12 times 3 will be 36. And here we have one decimal place. Here we have one decimal place. Together we have two decimal places. So we move 1, 2. So right now we have 2 minus 0.36. So that's very simple. Let's do this one by one. 2 is 2.00 and 0.36 minus 1, that will be 9, 10. 10 minus 6 will be 4, 9 minus 3 will be 6, 1. So 1.64. And let's move on to question number 2. So we have 4p squared minus 1. Now it is only for 1 mark, so I think it should be pretty easy, but let's see what do we observe. We observe 4 can be written as 2 squared and 1 can be 1 squared. So replace, you will have 2p squared minus 1 squared. Now we can factorize, that will be 2p plus 1, 2p minus 1. So this is true because we learned something in our syllabus, is that the difference of squares can be factorized easily. So let's say if you had a squared minus b squared, it has to equal to a plus b and a minus b. So in this case, a was 2p and b was 1, so you will have this as your answer. Now for part B, we have to factorize this equation. So you observe, so at first, just like you, I don't know how it's gonna be, right? I have to observe to see what can I use to factorize this. So if I observe, I see we have y here and y here. Let's put them together. You will have 10xy minus 8y. And then leave some space, write down the remaining numbers. We have minus 12 plus 15x. So now we can factorize the common factors. So we have y, which is common, but we also have 2, right? Because these two are even numbers, we can take 2 out. So you will have 5x minus 4. Now for this one, what can I take? I can see that I know 12 is 3 times 4. 15 is 3 times 5. So they have 3 in common. So take out 3. So take out plus 3. You will have remaining here will be minus 4 plus 5x. Okay, so now if I observe, I see that this is the same thing. If I rearrange, if you see, let's do that. If you rearrange, you will have the same thing. Minus 4 plus 3. Let's put this one first, 5x minus 4. So as you can see, this and this are the same thing. We can just factorize that outside. So you will have 5x minus 4, and the remaining will be 2y plus 3. And that will be your question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have to solve the equation. Now what does it mean to solve? It means to find the value of x. So the way to do this is to make x become subject. So first step is to send every x to one side. So let me send all the x to this side and all the numbers to one side. So we have 9 here. Here we have minus 12. Send this to this side, we come plus 12. Here we have 2x. Here we have minus. Send this here, we come plus 5x. That will be 21 equal to 7x. Now x will be what? 21 divided by 7. That should be 3. The answer is 3, 4, 8. Now for part B, we have to simplify. Simplify means we just have to expand the brackets and see what happens. So 16 plus 2y, expand the bracket. Here we have minus 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. Now we have to be careful. Minus 3 times minus y will be plus 3y, right? Because minus times minus become plus. Now we have 2y plus 3y, that will be 5y. 16 minus 9 will be minus 7. 5y minus 7 will be your answer. Now for point B, we have to write down this number to the nearest 100. So basically, we have to see. So here we have 100, so 2 zeros, right? We have to look at these two to see how it's going to change. So the first two for now, we have to leave it by itself. Now we have to look at this number here. So we have to, let's just write everything. So we have to leave this 2 by itself, right? We have to look at this one. Is this number more or equal to 5? Yes, it is. If it is, then we have to add 1 to the first two. So 34 plus 1 is 35, and the rest will become 0. So this is your answer. So this part is your answer for part A. Now, for example, let's try this. Let's see. So in this question, I had this number. So what if I had this number? I had 34, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I leave the two numbers by itself. You have 34. But here I can see that this number is not more equal to 5. So I have to change this to 0. So here, because it is more, I have to add 1. But here it is not more, so I just change it to 0 directly. So let's look at another example, just so that you have a good understanding. So what if I had 5, 5, 5, 6, 0, 0.298. I have to write this down correct to the nearest 100. Okay, so because it is 100, we have to look at the 2 zeros here. 100. We have to leave the first 3 by itself, so 5, 5, 5 for now, and ask ourselves if this number here, is it more or equal to 5? If it is, then we add 1 to the first 3. So 5, 5, 5 plus 1 will be 6, and change the rest to 0. Okay, so your answer will be 5, 5, 600. So nearest 100 as an example for this question. Here's only 1 mark, should not be tough. Now for part B, we have this number, we have to find the value, evaluate. So we can try to rewrite this. So we can break it down. So this can be 16 times 10 power 4. Now square root. We know that we can break it down. So that will be square root of 16 times square root of 10 power 4. That will be 4 times 10 power 2, which is 400 as your answer. Now for part C, evaluate this value. So 1 by 1, 1 is 1 minus, what is 3 power 1? We can write this down as 1 over 3 power 1, which is 1 over 3. That will be 1 over 3, and that becomes 2 over 3 as your answer. Okay, that is question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. So here we have y is directly proportional to the cube of x. So we have to write down the equation. So y. So whenever you have directly proportional, we write this sign. Now what is cube of x? It is x power 3. We write x power 3. So now of course we don't want to keep this symbol. We can rewrite this as y equal to k times x power 3. Okay. Now we have this equation. So here we have to use these values to find the value of k. We know that when x equal to 2, y equal to 4. So 4k times 2 power 3. So k will be 4 divided by 8. That will be half. So now we know this is the value of k. Let's replace it back in our main equation. So we have y equal to half x power 3. Okay, so now we have the equation. Now we have to use that to find the value of y, when x is 3. y, x is 3, so 3 power 3. So you will have 1 over 2, that will be 27, right? 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So your answer could be 27 divided by 2. Or if you want to simplify down, that's okay as well. That will be 1. That will be 3. That will be 0.5. 13.5 could be your answer for question number 5. Now for part 6, Maria's age is 17 years and 5 months. Okay. Her brother is 20 months younger. Okay, so we have to find the age of her brother. So how can we do that? So let's convert, right? What is 20 months? We know that 1 year is equal to 12 months. So what is 20 months? 20 months could be, if you minus 12, you will have remaining 8 months. So her brother is 1 year and 8 months. Sorry, not that it is younger by this amount of time. So the age is actually 17 years, 5 months, minus that 1 year and 8 month difference. You will have what? That will become 16. That will be 12. So 12 minus 8 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 16 minus 1 is 15. So her brother is 15 years and 9 months. That is 6 part A. Now for part B, we have to write down as a fraction in its simplest form. So because we have minutes here, and here we have hours, we cannot simplify yet. We have to convert them to the same thing. So let me just convert the hours to minutes, right? So here we have 2 hours, which is 2 times 60, that will be 120, plus 18, that will be 138 minutes. That will be 48 minutes over 138 minutes. Now pretty easy. These two will cancel out because they're the same unit. And for these two, we can do one by one. First thing I can try to divide by, let's say divide by 2. You have 24 divided by 2. You have 6, 1, 9. Now divide by 3, 8. 3, that will be 23. So it will be 8 over 23. That is your answer in its simplest form. For part 6, part B. Now let's move on to question number 7. We have the number of emails received by 18 people in a class are given below. Okay, complete this diagram. So pretty easy. Let's count. So here we have 4. 4 will be where? So 0 to 5, that will be here. 4. 12 will be right here. 14 will be here. 6 will be here. 3 will be here. 6 will be here. 9 will be here as well. 7 will be here as well. 11 will be here. 8 will be here. 7, 11 here. 14 here. 6 will be here. 13 will be here. 5 will be here. 12 and 9. So let's count. So here we have 3. Here we have 8. And here we have 7. So together this should be 18. So as required, 18, 18. So my count is good. Now for part B, we have chosen a student at random from the class, from a different class. The chance that he obtains a 5 is 9 over 20. This is what it is given to you here. Now we have to write down. So whenever you see write down, it means it should be pretty easy. There's not much to do. The chance that this student did not receive a 5. So receive 5 is 9 over 20. Did not will be 1 minus 9 over 20. That will be 11 over 20. Okay, that will be part B. So 8, we have to write down each of the numbers correct to 1 SF. We have to estimate the value of this fraction. So one by one. So we have 6013, 0.0405, and here we have 8.986. So of course here we will first ignore the square root. We will just write the number which is inside. So let's write this down to 1 SF. Because here we have 1 SF, let's leave the first one by itself, first number. Then we ask if this number here, is it more or equal to 5? If it is not true, then we change everything to 0. Same steps. Here we don't count 0, we count the first number, we leave it by itself. We ask if this number, the following number is it more or equal to 5? No, it is not, so we change everything to 0. Now for this one, we leave the first number by itself, so we don't count 0, 0 doesn't count, we count the first number, which is not 0, leave it by itself, and we ask the following number, is it more or equal to 5? Yes, it is. If it is, then we add 1 to the first number. 8 plus 1 is 9, then we changed everything else to 0. We place back the numbers in your fraction to see what happens. So here you have 6,000 times 0.04 over 9 with square root. So here we can move to decimal place. We have to eliminate 2 zeros. You will have 60 times 4 over 3. That will be 1, that will be 20, and your answer should be 80. Estimation will be 80 for question number 8. Okay, so question number 9, we have to express this in standard form. So let's see, how can we do this? So here we have to move 1, 2. That becomes 4.3 times 10 power minus 2 times 100 squared. So let's see how can we simplify this part. So this one is the way it is supposed to be, but we have to simplify this part. So 10 power minus 2 is 1 over 100 times 100 square is 100 times 100. Simplify, that will become 100. So right now we have 4.3 times 100, which is 4.3 times 10 power 2, as your answer in standard form. Okay. Now for part B, we have to evaluate. So evaluate means find the value, giving your answer in standard form. So we can break this down into two parts. Numbers will be on one side, 1.2 divided by 2 times, and the 10 powers will be on one side. Now we have what? We have 1.2 divided by 2, that should be 0.6 times 10 power 7. When you have divide, you have to minus. Here we have minus 2. That becomes 0.6 times 10. 7 minus 3 is 10. Now we have to definitely move one decimal place to the right. It will become 6.0 times 10 power 9 as your answer. Now for part 10, a football team we have the number of goals of the 20 games. Okay, so we have this in the table here. Part 1, find the mode. The mode is equal to the number of goals where the frequency is maximum. If you look, where's the frequency maximum? It is right here. The number of goals will be 0. So now we have to find the median. It is the middle value. How do you find this? We take 20 games plus 1 divided by 2. That will be 21 divided by 2. That will be 10.5. Now before 10.5 we have 10. After we have 11. So basically the answer should be the average of the 10th and the 11th value. So where can we find those two values? Now one thing we can do here, we can write this down. I just want to show you guys how did I find this? Okay, we know we have 0, we have 6 zeros, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have 5 number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you were to count, where is the 10th value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 10th value. So 10 value. Where is the 11th value? Will be 10. 11 will be plus the 11th value. Average will be divided by 2. That should be 1. So your answer is 1 for the median. That is part B. Now for part B, in a football team, the 2 tallest guys have mean mass this, and the shortest guys has mean mass of this, 8 shortest guy. So the main thing here is we have to know the formula of mean mass. So mean is equal to the sum divided by the number of people. So here, for example, what do we have? So the mean is 75. Sum we don't know. Over number of people is 2. This is sum number 1, for example. So sum number 1 will be 2 times 75, and that will be 150. Okay, and here we have the mean is 60. Sum number 2, and the people will be 8. So sum number 2 will be cross multiply, that will be 480. Okay, so here we have to find the mean mass of the 10 players. Okay, so mean mass will be the sum of everyone divided by 10 players. Sum of everyone will be 150 plus 480 divided by 10. So what we can do is add them, right? Pretty easy to add them. That will be 0. 5 plus 8 will be 13, and that will be 6. The answer will be 630 divided by 10, so that will be 63 as your answer. And that will be question number 10. Okay, so let's move on to question number 11 now. So we have A, B, C, and D, E, F as parallel lines. So this and this are parallel lines. So let's see how can we use that to find the answers, right? So part A, we have to find the angle DEB. So where's DEB? So DEB will be this angle. So because these two lines are parallel, the alternate angles have to be the same, which means this angle is equal to this angle. So we can find this angle pretty easily. It is a straight line. This is 123, so we know this is 180. So 180 minus 123 will be what? So that should be, so let's do this here, just to show you guys. 23, that'll be 7, 10. 10 minus 3 will be 7. 7 minus 2 will be 5. So the answer will be 57. So this angle is the same as this. DEB will be 57. Now for part B, we have to find BEC. BEC. So we have to find this angle. So pretty simple. Because you know this is 57, this is 40. We have to find, let's call this X. Because we know that everything together here has to be 180. So 57 plus 40 plus X have to give you 180. So we have to find the value of X. X will be 180 minus 40 minus 57. So this will be these two, 180 minus 40 will be 140 minus 57. So let's do that one by one just to make sure we don't make any mistakes. That will be 3. 10, that will be 3. And 10 minus 5 is 5 plus 2, that will be 8. So your answer will be 83 for angle BEC. Okay, so that will be question number 11. Now let's move on to question number 12. So we have to write down the letter of each drawing that is a net of a cube. Now first thing first, we have to know what is a cube before we do this question. So what is a cube? It is a shape just like this, right? Everything is equal, like this. Now, if you were to open the cube, we have to, so first thing, let's do something. Let's count how many sides does the cube have. Has 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from what I can see, it has 6 sides, right? Because top, so top, bottom, 2, back, this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, from what I can see, we know that a cube has 6 sides. Now, let's see who does not have 6 sides on our answer. Here we have 6, here we have 6 as well, here we have 6, oh, here we have 5, 1, 2, 5, so D cannot be your answer. And here we have 6, and here we have 6, good. Now we have to use some kind of imagination here to find the correct answers. So let's see, this is our base, we close this up on one side, so this is good, this can become a cube. So you have to use your imagination for this question. Okay, so how about this one? This one, let's see, we can close this one, we can close this one, but these two sides are kind of stuck together, so it will not be good. How about this one? Let's use this as our base. Go up, close, go up, close, and top. This is good as well. Now let's use this one. We can close this one, close on top, up, back and forth. This is good as well. So basically the idea here is you have to use your imagination, or what can you do is you can always use a piece of paper, cut the shape of those shape, and then try to bend it and see can you form a cube that is closed. If you can, it means it is good. If you cannot, it means it is not good. How about this one? Let's see. We have this, this, and this will go up, but one side is missing on the back, so this will not be good. So your answer will be A, C, and E. Okay, so for this question, honestly, you have to use your imagination. There's no calculation to be made here. You have to use your imagination. Now for 13, let's see what can we do here. So we have a few angles given to us. It seems to be a bearing question. OC and OA make an angle of 70, okay, with an off line. Now we have angle AOB is X and BOC is Y. Okay. Oh, so we have been given the ratio of those two angles, so we have to find the value of X. So pretty easy. So we know that everything together of the circle is 360. So let's see what is the remaining angle. 70 plus 70 will be 140. Everything will be 360 minus, that will be 20, 220. So these two together will be 220. So now we know that these two together will have a ratio of 3 to 7. So together, 3 plus 7 is 10. So 10 share is 220 degrees. So one share will be 22 degrees. X, so the ratio is X, Y. X is 3, Y is 7. So we know 1 is 22. What is the value of 3? That will be 22 times 3. That will be 66. Okay, that will be your answer for part A. But since we're here already, let's find the value for Y as well. So what is 22 times 7? That will be 14. That will be 154 for value of Y, if in case you need that for later on. Now for part B, we have to find the bearing of C from O. So C is here from O. So we have to find this angle. C from O. So whenever it is from, we have to draw our north line from the point O and then find this angle. This is 220 plus 70, so 220 plus 70, that will be 290 as your answer. Now find the bearing of O from A. Okay, now go to O from A. So let's draw a north line at A. A is here, let's draw a north line. So we have to find this angle from A to O. So how do you find this? So we know this is 180. How about this one? How can you find this angle? If you observe, this angle is the same as this angle because these two are in the same direction and they are alternate angles. This is 70, this also have to be 70. So it will be 180 plus 70, that will be 250. So your answer will be 250. And that is question number 13. Now, question number 14, we have a Venn diagram. So we have to shade the subset P union Q intersecting R prime. So P union Q, so these two together, intersecting outside of R will be P union Q but not R. That's what it means. Now for part B, we have a group of 42 people. 30 speak Spanish, that's called S, French F. Okay. Now find the smallest number of people who speak both Spanish and French. So let's see, we have this option. X, this is French, Spanish. We know that everything together is 42, right? So this will be, we know this has to be something here. So let me write this down. That should be, French is 20, 20 minus X. It has to be 30 minus X. That will be 20 minus X plus X plus 30 minus X. It has to be 42. So simplify, these two cancel out, that will be 50 minus X will be 42, X will be 8. So 8 people here will speak both languages. Now for part 2, find the largest number of people who speak neither Spanish nor French. So let's see, if you have something like this, look, we can do this. What if we had Spanish as the big one and French as the small one? That will be 20 here. Spanish will be 10 here. So which means we know that we have 42 people in total. So outside of the set of both will be 42 minus 30, that should be 12. So your answer will be 12 people speak neither. That will be the largest possible number if that was the case for that to happen. So now what do we have? We have a locus question. So using compass and a straight edge only, so basically a ruler, construct the bisector of the angle ABC, so angle B. So let's do that. Let me first find my compass. Okay, so I have to use this one. So what I will do here is I need to draw the angle bisector of angle B. So first thing, let me go to angle B, and then I have to intersect the line BC and BA. Okay. Then go to the point of intersection. So then draw something here, and then intersect the line here as well. Okay, so almost done. There we go. So once you have these 2 points, you have to join them to form the angular bisector of angle A. That is part 1. Now part 2, we have to draw the locus of all the points inside of the triangle that are 3 centimeters from AC. Okay, 3 centimeters from AC. So pretty easy. We can just measure 3 centimeters if you want to. You just need to be a parallel line inside of the triangle. So I need to measure this at the right angle. So this is one way of doing that. Of course, you can use a compass to do this as well, but you can always just do that. So that will be 1, 2, 3. Same steps here. 1, 2, 3. So we have to draw this inside only, so make sure that you don't go out. So this will be your answer for part 2. Okay, that is 1, 2, and that is all for question number 16. Sorry, 15. So here, let's see what do we have. So in this diagram, we have OABC is a parallelogram. Okay, as you can see, these two sides are parallel, and these two sides are parallel as well. That's why it's called a parallelogram. Now, we have been given something here is that the equation of CB, so this is y equal to x plus 2. That's something we have been given, okay? The region inside of the parallelogram is defined by 4 inequalities. Fair enough, if you count, we have this line, this line, this, and this, which is 4 lines, right? So one of them is this one. Pretty obvious because it has to be below this line, so that's why it is less for below. So the reason why it is there's no equal sign here, as you can see, we have the choice between this or this, right? Because we are using this one because it says inside. That's why we don't have equal sign. Okay, that is the first one. Now we have to write down the 3 other inequalities. So which means we have to look at the 3 other lines. So this one is okay. We have to look at this line. So what is the equation of this line? This is the vertical line. We know that this is 4, so it has to be x equal to 4. If you observe, the shape is on the left side of this line, so you will write x less than 4. Okay. How about, let's write this one, it's easier. This one is 0, vertical line. It is x equal to 0. It is on the right side of the shape, so you have to write down x is more than 0. So the shape is on this side of this line, so that's why you have to write more than 0. Now how about this line? How can you find the equation? So one thing we can use here is because it is a parallelogram, we know that these two lines are parallel. What do you know about parallel lines? You know that they have the same gradient. So here we have, so whenever you have y equal to mx plus c, we know m is the gradient. If you observe this line, x plus 2, this is 1, so 1 here is the gradient. Now to find the equation, we can use a passing point. We know it passes with a point 0, 0. That is x, y, so use x minus 0 over, so y minus over this equal to gradient. So you can conclude that it is y equal to x, equation of this line. This is y equal to x. Now as you can see, it is above this line, the shape is above of this line, you will write y is more than x. So this will be part A of the question. Now for part B, calculate the area of the parallelogram. So you have to know something here. So let's say we have the shape like this. How do you find the area? You have to take the length multiplied by the height. Area is length times height. So same way here, if you observe, what can you do? We know this length. If you observe, we can find this length. Yeah, this is 0. But what is this point? This point is a point of intersection of the y-axis and this line. The y-intercept is 2. So this is 2. So 0 to 2, the length is 2. And the height, as you can see, it is this one. Or we can draw, which is this one, which is this one. This is the height. Okay. So height is 4. As you can see, area will be 2 times 4, that will be 8. 8 units square will be your answer for the area of the parallelogram. That is question 16. Okay, let's move on to question number 17. So in this diagram, we have AC is a diameter of the circle center. Okay, now we have the tangents of T touches the circle at B and C. B and C is T. So when you can see here, we have tangent and tangent. This means that we have to know these two are the same. Okay, so from this we can see that if this is 62, this also have to be 62 because these two are the same. Okay, now what do we have? We have to find angle x. Angle x is this angle. So something we have to know is that if the point C to T is a tangent and CO is a radius, we know this angle has to be 90. So x will be 90 minus 60. That should be what? So let's do the calculation. That will be 8, 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 12. 28 will be your answer. Now part B, we have to find the value of y. Where is y? Y is this one. But now if you observe, we have BCT as a triangle. Y will just be the third angle of a triangle. So 62 times 2, that will be 124. So that will be 180 minus 124 because the triangle, the sum of the angle is 180 minus this 2 will give you this one. That will be what? Let's see. So 7, 10, that will be 6. 7 minus 2 will be 5. So your answer will be 56 for y. Okay, and that will be question 17. Let's move on to question 18. Some numbers are arranged in rows, okay? Each row contains one more number than the previous row. As you can see, row number 1 had 2 numbers, row number 2 has 3 numbers, 3 has 4 numbers, so each row has one more than the previous row. Makes sense, right? Now, the number in each row are 2 more than the previous numbers in the previous rows. Okay, pretty easy. So if here we have 3, the next one we have 5, we have 2 more, so plus 2 we have 7, plus 2 we have 9. If you plus 2, you will have 11. That's the idea. So complete row 5, it should be 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, but also one more 11 because of this condition. That will be part 1. Now part B, write down an expression in terms of n for each number in row n. So for each number, okay? So let's write down. So let's write down here, let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we had 3, the number is 3, number is 5, 7, 9, 11. Here we have to find n. But if you observe, it is very clear what's happening. Every time we are increasing this by 2, right? By 2. It is a common difference, so we write down 2n. But if you observe here, so we can try, so let's see, we can put 2. Term number 1, you will have 2. But the answer is 3. So how can you change 2 to 3? You have to plus 1. So you have to plus 1 here as well. So your answer will be 2n plus 1 for the number in each row. Now for part B, let's see what do we have. For part C, sorry. So write down an expression in terms of n for the number of numbers in each row. So pretty easy. Let's see. So for row number 1, we have 2 numbers. So let's write down. Row number 1, we had 2 numbers. Row number 2, we had 3 numbers. 4 we have, sorry, row number 3, we have 4 numbers. Pretty easy. Row number 4, we had 5 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5, we have 6 numbers. So as you can see, pretty easy. Row number n, we will have n plus 1 numbers, as you can see. So 1, we have 2 numbers, 2, we have 3 numbers, so always increasing by 1, and it will be n plus 1. Now for part D, write down an expression in terms of n for the sum of the numbers in row n. So how do you find the sum of the numbers? So pretty easy. You will first you will take the number, which is 3, times the number of numbers, 2, right? Take the number, which is 5, times the number of numbers, which is 3. Takes the value, which is 7, times the number of numbers, which is 4. You'll find the sum this way. So same way here, we will take the value is 2n plus 1, and we will type the number of numbers, which is this one. So the answer will be this for part D, to find the sum of that row. That will be question 18. Now let's move on to question 19. So the time T minutes taken by some people to travel to work are shown in the table below. So we have to draw a histogram. So as you can see here, we have to find the frequency density. So what is the formula for that? You have to know. So frequency density is equal to frequency over class width. So what is the class width? Let's find out. So class width, pretty easy. It is this value minus this value. So 20 minus 10 will be 10. This minus this will be 5. That will be 5 as well, and that should be 20. So frequency density will be frequency divided by the class width. 16 divided by 10 will be 1.6. 15 divided by 5 will be 3. That will be 0.5. And what is 20 divided by 12? Let's find out. Sorry, it is the other way around again. So that should be frequency divided by class width. So 10 divided by 5 will be 2. 12 divided by 20. So divide by 2, you have 6 over 10, and that will be 0.6. Okay, so now let's plot the points. For the class 10 to 20, it is 1.6. So 10 to 20, that will be 1.6 should be 30. So of course, you will have to use a ruler for this one. That's the first bar, and then we have 20 to 25 is 3. 3 will be this one. And then we have 25 to 30 is 2. And then we have 30 to 50 will be 0.6. Okay, that will be your answer for question 19 for the histogram. Now let's move on to question 20. So here we have two shapes, two triangles, A and B. Let's see what is the question. So complete the description of the transformation that maps A onto B. So from A to B, if you observe, you can see the sides have changed from A to B. You can assume that should be what? A enlargement, right? And now, of course, for enlargement, we have to find the scale factor as well as the point of the center of enlargement. So we know that this point became this point, right? Let's join them together. And we know that this point became this point, so let's join them together. So you will see that by joining those two together, you will have two lines and a point of intersection. And this point is your center of enlargement, which is 4, 2 will be your center of enlargement. Now, what is the scale factor? Okay, so let's count. We had 1, 2, it became 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From 2 to 6, so 2 became 6. The scale factor, so S will be 6 divided by 2, that should be 3. So we conclude that it is an enlargement with scale factor 3 and center should be 4, 2. That is our answer for part A. Now for part B, triangle A is mapped onto triangle C by a reflection in the line y equal to this. So pretty easy. Let's first draw the line y equal to minus x. It should be this line. Now, if you don't know how to draw the line, what can you do is also pretty easy. So basically, just take a point. Let's say let x be 0. What is the value of y? Y will be minus 0, which is 0. That is my first point on the line. Let x be the value of, let's say, 4. Y will be minus 4. So the second point will be 4 minus 4. So we can use 2 points to draw my line. So first point is 0, 0 will be here. And then we have 4 minus 4 will be here. So as you can see, we can join those 2 points to draw my line. So there's nothing here you have to learn by heart. You can just do step by step and find your answer, right? So this is my line, y equal to minus x. Now, we have to reflect the triangle A onto that line. So pretty easy. Turn your shape this way, and let's see. From this point, I have to reflect, we have to count distance, 1 half. So it will be half 1. This one will be 1, 2, 1, 2. This will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's join all the 3 points to form our image of reflection. And the name of this one is triangle C. Don't forget to label this for your full marks. That should be question B, question number 20. Now let's move on to question number 21. So here we have a line L is perpendicular to the line this. So if you observe y equal to mx plus 3, m here is m equal to minus 1 over 2. This is the gradient of this line. But what is the gradient of line L? Because it is perpendicular to this line, we conclude that the gradient of line L should be 2. Right? Because we have to know something is that if you take the gradient of line L times the gradient of the line, it should give you minus 1. So to find this, we know this is the value here. So ML has to be 2. That's why we know this is true. Now we know that L passes to this point, so this is our passing point, which is 8 and 9, that is x and y. So we use that to find the equation. So y minus 9 over x minus 8 is equal to the gradient. So I get this question many times. Why do I do this? Is because that is a method to find the equation of the line. I know this is y minus that value, x minus that value. We will find the gradient, then we cross multiply to find the equation. Y minus 9 equal to 2x minus 16. Y will be 2x minus 16 plus 9. That should be y. 2x minus, that should be y minus 7. Let's check. So 16 minus 9, that should be what? 10, 1, 7. So minus 7 will be right. So y will be 2x minus 7. That is question 21. Let's move on to question 22. So we have to find AB, so pretty easy. 1 minus 4, 2, 3. That is A, and that is B. So to multiply matrix, we have to do row by column. So 1 times 0 is 0, plus 2 times 2 is 4. Row by column. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. Okay, now for this one, row by column, minus 4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 times 2 is 6. Row by column, minus 4 times 2 is minus 6, and that will be minus 9. Simplify, that will be 4, 6, minus 4, and minus 17 as your answer. Now for part C, we have to look at this. We have C as 2 by 2 matrix, okay? So these two are the same. I mean, not the same, but these two are the 2 by 2 matrices. Now we have to write down. So whenever you see write down, it means it's not hard. It should be pretty easy. This value here. So we have C times C inverse times B. Now if you observe, you have to know this. When C multiplied by its inverse, it gives you the I matrix. Now if I matrix times anything, it gives you back the same matrix. So your answer will be B, which is 0, 2, 0, minus 2. That will be part B. Question number 22. Now let's move on to question number 23. The diagram is a speed time graph of a train's journey. Okay. Now the train moves at a constant speed of 20 for 40 seconds, and then we have slows down for 60. This is 60, slows down until stops. Now part 1, find the deceleration between time equal to 40 and time equal to 100. Okay, so there's many ways to find this. The way I like to do this is by using triangle method. For example here, 40 to 100, the height, so the base is 60, and the height is what? The height is 20. So I know that the gradient of a speed time graph is the acceleration. So let's find the gradient. How do you find the gradient of the triangle? It is a right angle triangle. We use height divided by base. Height is 20 divided by base is 60. That will be 2 over 6, which is 1 over 3. So your answer is 1 over 3 for the deceleration of the train. Now, what if the question was asking you for the acceleration? So your answer will be minus 1 over 3. If it was asking you for this, but it is asking you for deceleration going down, that will be your answer. Now for part B, we have to find the value of t when the speed is equal to 10. So how would you do that? Let's go back to the diagram. When v equal to speed is 10, will be somewhere about here, right? If you draw this, we will have something to use, and we can use similar triangles to find the value. We have to find the value of t when that happens. But if you observe here, we have a big triangle. This is 20, and this is 60. And then we have a small triangle here. This is what? We don't know. We want to find this value. Let's call this x. We don't know the value of here. But we know the height is 10. So, but we know that these two triangles are similar because it is a small triangle inside of the same triangle, right? That's why it is similar. Now let's use similarity to find the value of x. So pretty easy. We can say x over 60 is equal to 10 over 20. That will be x is half times 60. That will be 30. So this distance here should be 30. So that should be 30. So 100 minus 30, that should be 70. So the value of t will be 70. Okay, that will be one way of finding this. There's many other ways, of course. You can always try to use the other methods. Now for part C, find the average speed during this time. So by definition, average speed is equal to total distance over total time taken. This is obviously 100. But what is this distance? Let's see. If you observe, we can break it down into, okay, we don't need to, but you can break it down into two pieces. One is a rectangle and one is a triangle. Or you can just take the whole thing as a trapezium. It is up to you. So let's do the easiest way, which is rectangle and triangle. This will be base is 40 times height. That will be 800. Triangle will be, this is a triangle, half times base times height. That will be 600. So together distance will be this plus this, that will be 1400. So if you write this down, so what is the average speed? If you simplify, you will have 14 meters per second as your average speed for this train. Okay, now let's move on to question number 24. Express 99 as a product of its prime factors. Pretty easy. 99 divided by 3, that will be 3. Divided by 3, that will be 11. So 99 will be 3 times 3 times 11. as your answer. Now for part B, expressed as a product of its prime factors, we have P, Q equal to these values, where n is a positive integer. Integer means whole numbers, okay? Now the lowest common multiple of P and Q is this. Find the value of R. So let's find that actually, right? What is this 2? So we know that P is 2 power n. We can break it down. So when you have 2 power n plus 2, it is simply 2 power n times 2 power 2. That will be 4 times 2n. But that's okay, we don't need that, we just need this one, right? That will be times 2 power 2. And then that is times 3n times 5. Now if you look at Q is 2 power n times 3 n times, break it down, it is 3, and then we have times 5 power 2. Okay, so now if you were to find the LCM, pretty easy, you will take the maximum values, right? So here if you observe, we have 3 prime factors. We have 2, 3, and 5 prime factors. So one by one question. For the first prime factor, where does it happen the most? By observation, I can say that so here I have 2 power n, and here we have 2 power n times 2 power 2. So it happens the most here. I will take this one. Now for this one, where does it happen the most? So here we have 3 power n, here we have 3 power n times 3, so I'll take this one. Okay, and for this one, where does it happen the most? Obviously here, so we will multiply by 5 power 2. So right now what do we have? Let me find some space. So right now we have LCM is 2 power n times 2 power 2 times 3 power n times 2 times 5 power 2. Now the question tells us that the LCM is equal to 2 power n times 3 power n times r, and to find the value of r. So we can just observe and simplify. This is here, this is here, so obviously r has to be what? So let's see, this is not 3, this is not 2, this should be 3. So I think I made a mistake here. This should be 3, not 2. This is 2. So 2 power 2, and 3 should be 3 here. So r, the value of r is equal to 2 power 2 times 3 times 5 power 2. That is my value of r according to the question. Now for part 2, let's see what do we have. We have to express P plus Q as a product of its prime factors. So P plus Q. P is given by 2 and we have a plus. Q is 2 power n times 3 times 5 power 2. So 5 power 2. So the first thing we have to factorize. Let's see where we have common. So this is common, this is common, and this is common. So we take it out. We have 2 power n times 3 power n times 5, but bracket, we have 2 times 2 is 4, and then here we have plus, and here we have what? 3 remaining. Then we have times 5. That will be 2, 3n, 5, and then this will be 15 plus 4 is what? 15 plus 4 is 19. This is of course a prime number, so that works as well. So P plus Q, that will be 2 power n times 3 power n times this n times 19, so as a product of its prime factors. And that will be question number 24. Okay, so we're almost done. This is the last question of this paper. Let's see what do we have here. So in this diagram, we have ABP and ACQ are straight lines. So ABP, ACQ are straight lines. Okay. Now we have the angle ACB, ACB equal to APQ. Good. Now part 1, we have to show that the triangle ABC is similar to triangle AQP. So how can you prove similarity? You can prove by A, basically proving that they have the same angles. That's one way of proving they are similar. So we know that this is the same, but also this is the same. So let's write this down. We conclude that angle BAC is equal to PAQ because they are common in both triangles. The next one, because we know these two triangles are the same, the remaining one obviously have to be the same, right? Because the third angle can be found by 180 minus the first two. So from this we conclude that ABC is equal to AQP because it is the third angle of triangle. So from this you can say by the A method we conclude that these two triangles, they are similar. That is one way to show that. Now for part B, we have AB is 4, AC is 3, AQ is 12, find AP. So where's AP? AP is this big one. So we have to obviously use similarity to find this side. So let's see. AP is opposite of this angle, so let's write AP on top. And we know that AP, so this angle will be the same as this, opposite will be 3. Equal to, we know that this angle opposite will be 12, right? 12. This is the same angle as this, opposite will be 4, you have 4. From this, AP has to be what? Multiply here. 12 times, so 75, that is 1, 3, that will be 9. So AP will be 9 centimeters. Okay. Now for part C, we have to find the area. So in terms of x, so first, area of triangle ABC is x. Find in terms of x the area of the quad BPQC. So we know this is x, the BPQC. But now how do you find the area of BPQC? So the logic behind this is area of BPQC is actually equal to area of APQ minus area of ABC. We know ABC is x, but we have to find the APQ. But how can you find the area of APQ? We have to use this fact. We know that they are similar. By using similarity, we can find the area. So first thing first, let's write down the ratio of the area. So first, the ratio of the sides. Let's see. So opposite this angle, we have 4. For the small triangle, it is 4. Now the same angle is this one, opposite will be 12. So simplify, it is 1 to 3. That's the ratio of their sides. Now what is the ratio of their area? So we have to square these two. Square will be 1 to 9. So the ratio of the area is 1 to 9. Given the area of ABC is of the smaller triangle is x, so big one will be 9x. Right? 1 is x, 9 will be 9x. So this is ABC, this is APQ. Now going back to our equation here, to find this area we use APQ, which is 9x minus x, that will be 8x. So your answer will be 8x for the area of the quad BPC. So that was the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.